Sup shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SB Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out a track by an act named TuskHead. This single is called Blue, so without further ado, we're switching over to here where Spotify is showing a fair bit of blue around here. We're going to listen to this track from start to finish. Oh, it's a good length, 3 minutes 15, it's a good length for a single. And we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Oh damn, man, got some drums, 2 guitars, piano, and a nice little bass in there. I've got a few little ingredients to this, haven't we?
Even in the darkest days, there's a light that will shine through.
Oh, very somber vocal performance so far.
I didn't believe it at first, till I saw your eyes so blue.
The mixing's really good. Everything sounds really sort of pristine and clear. Always a really great first impression.
Whenever you smile at me,
Good sense of dynamic range in there.
drop off my shoulders. I'm feeling warm and bright, even as the days grow colder. Didn't know it was possible to not feel any pain at all.
Oh, okay.
But like a diamond, your light shines through.
Cool. I like how he held that note at the end, sort of changed things up from you know, like just holding that note is a nice contrast to sort of having a more spoken passagey kind of start to a hook. I'm liking what the song is about. I'm loving the content of it.
Didn't know it was possible to
Oh,
not
repeating
feel
it.
any pain at all.
That's gorgeous.
But like a diamond, your light shines through.
All right, well done. Oh, we're resolving to the major. I love it. I love how he sort of reveals that this person, their light shines through, and then suddenly it goes all kind of not super happy, but like peaceful. It's sort of like a realization, a light bulb moment, you know? I'm liking how it's lead guitar led, but it's not like abrasive and like it's not trying to make it about itself, you know? Nice little bit of fuzz and that pedal board going on. Harmonics? Oh, a bit of a groovy kind of sort of interlude solo section. A little bit of harmony going on there with those guitars, leads. Sick.
Didn't know it was possible
Oh,
to
back to the
not
hook.
feel
Wow.
any pain at all. But like a diamond, your light shines through.
Oh, well done. I like how it doesn't resolve at the end of that first time through of the chorus. It kind of goes to a kind of an uncertainty, sort of to mirror him not realizing that it could be possible to avoid that pain. And then I suppose we're going to go back to the major at the end of this. Very simple message, very accessible. That kind of quick step going on with those snare works. Those country vibes are dope, man. Country blues. Oh, very somber. But in like, it ends really pleasantly. It ends really nicely and pleasantly. That's fantastic. I'm in love with that. I'm in love with this track. I think that the personality behind it, its identity is so alluring. It's a really mature, sophisticated piece of music that, you know, may not appear that way at face value, but just the overall classiness of how it was delivered. You had a verse after an intro Then you had the hook, which obviously is the part you want everyone to remember. And then, of course, this guy is a talented sort of multi-instrumentalist musician, I can only assume. So he's got all those different sort of guitar parts going on there, some nice little pretty harmonics. And then he kind of comes back to that chorus at the end for the outro and really sort of presses home that he doesn't try to fit too much content into that chorus. It's more about sort of like really getting you to understand that he has managed to, he's come upon an epiphany, a realization that, you know, the people around you can truly make your world a better place. You know, sometimes you just got to find that special someone and they can turn everything around for you. You know, obviously you don't want to sort of depend on them for your happiness, but sometimes you can't depend on yourself for happiness. So you got to reach out, right? You know, it's good. It's moderation, but I think that, you know, like going into it, whenever I hear the song Blue and it's someone on an acoustic guitar, or like not the song Blue, but like the name Blue, you know, the blues is indicative typically of someone not having a fantastic time with their lives. You know, a lot of blues is not particularly positive or fun. But it is great to sort of be pleasantly surprised by how that direction went up into the sort of the more sort of like, again, that epiphany, that realization that things will improve. The performances on the instruments were solid. I can't complain about them for a moment. I'm glad to hear acoustic drums. It's always really pleasant, especially when I can sort of semi-tell that they weren't sampled. Because you get people that will sample even though they're on acoustic drums, you know. I want that specific snare sound. I want that specific drum. No, come on. You got to make your own sound, right? It's okay to use samples, don't get me wrong. Like as a music producer myself and whatever, I've used samples aplenty, but it's like, if you've got your own drum kit, just do what you can with it. Have fun with it, man. It's your identity. It's your unique sound. You know, go for it. Be you. And I get the impression that TuskHead is being the best musician that they can be for themselves. They've released a few songs, a fair bit of output over 2020 and 2021, and I think this is the first for them of the year. I'm really blown away by the sort of the skill and maturity and the consideration on display here. It's not easy to fit all that content into a three and a bit minute song, but he did. Well done. Great single, great first impression. The mixing and mastering was on point. Everything had their own place in the mix, and there was never a point where something sounded too louder than it needed to be. Started steady, kind of built up a little bit. Gave the instrument. To have an instrumental section in a song that's actually meaningful, I think removing that verse to make way for that was a smart idea. I don't think it would have had quite the same effect if you just had two verses and managed to try to squeeze a tiny little solo in there. You know, it would have been kind of like forced, but I also take that as TuskHead being true to themselves as artists. But yeah. Thank you very much for watching this review of TuskHead's Blue. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I haven't really spoken about the guy's vocal melody much, or himself as a vocalist. I'll talk about that as well before I finish, because this is one of my sort of shorter reviews. The guy obviously has his technique sorted. I think that, you know, there were moments where he sort of went legato with it and he tried those sort of stepped runs and it worked well because he kept it in time with the rest of the instruments. I think if he tried to include any ornamentation or sort of like flutters or anything like that, it just wouldn't have been stylistically cohesive. Would have been a bit kind of weird. You don't really need to add vibrato to this too much. Having like a sort of a straight-laced kind of delivery of those lines is kind of very much kind of what was needed, especially with all the nuance involved with the rest of the instruments. But there we go. I think I've spoken about everything now. Please do check out TuskHead's various social medias and Spotify. Stay cool, stay safe, and please remember to also support your local musicians at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spider hands out.